notice he doesn't speak English until I started talking
Yeah.
giving him the bird. Then all of a sudden he speaks perfect English and he's recollecting stories from Germany 7 years ago.
You remember in Germany, when I stay in Germany, you say, Joel Romero, I knew you heard me for wrestling? You forget that? I call now. I love you. See you soon, boy.
Listen, I always say I've never ducked anyone in my life, and I never will. So a couple of days ago, Dana calls me up. This is a Countdown exclusive. So Dana calls me up. He's like, you know, Mike, January 20th, Anaheim, you versus Yoel Romero. And I said, well, to be honest, Dana, I said, I've been getting some injections on my knee. Now, I'm not saying no to Yoel because, you know, believe it or not, after beating Weidman like that, yeah, I do fancy it. I was hoping Weidman would win. I always wanted to fight Weidman, more of a out of respect thing, really, even though we went back and forth and talked. I never really had too much against him. It was more kind of a comedy thing from where I was concerned. But I did want to fight him. That said, Yoel beat him, and fair enough, I guess in the fight before, even though he tested positive, he beat Jacare, he beat Weidman, and he beat, you know, a bunch of no marks before that as well. So, yeah, I guess that would be the fight. So I said, listen, I've had 3 fights this year. It was only 4 weeks ago I had a war with Dan Henderson. I said, I want to enjoy Christmas with my family. I said, so January 20th ain't going to happen. I said, I'm not physically or mentally ready to jump into a training camp right now. I said, that fight, that date is 9 weeks away. I'd have to start training camp next week. I'd have to be in training camp all the way through Christmas. My family are coming out for Christmas. I'm planning on having some downtime. I think I've earned that. I've got a couple of injuries that I need to let heal up. He said, okay, so when are we looking at? I said, sometime in spring. Sometime in spring, 100%. Book the fight. He goes, okay, cool. He said, let me have a look at the calendar, see what dates are available, see what locations. I'll get in touch and we'll figure something out. So it's looking like that will be the next fight, unless there's some kind of, unless something else transpires in some other situation. But it's looking like me versus Yoel sometime in the spring.
Teddy, surely as a boxer, what do you see with Conor McGregor?
Yeah, caveman. You know, listen, a real tough guy, very brilliant, genius promoter. There hasn't been a promoter like him since Muhammad Ali, and that's a great compliment that I'm giving him. And they're tough guys. All these UFC guys, they're genuinely tough guys, and they have grappling skills. They get you on the floor. You know, for the average athlete, it's all over. But as far as boxing, and it's not a knock on them, it's just a fact in my world. They're cavemen. They would not beat sea-level fighters. I mean, he would last as long as Mayweather would allow him to last for. You know, it's just primitive. Their skills striking. They call it striking. We call it boxing. Standing on your feet, chucking punches. It's primitive compared to the elite boxers. And as I said a moment ago, even below the elite boxers, Class C boxers that are professional fighters would have an easy time with these guys. But it's a different story when they can take you into their world. When they can get you on the floor and grapple and do those sort of things, well, then it's, as I said, it's a different story. But as far as strictly adhering to boxing rules, no contest, baby.
So you've got Nurmagomedov, #1 contender all day long, and you've got Tony Ferguson, who's a #1 contender all day long. I mean, no one's going to get pissed, whoever comes out of that thing. Here's the reality that those guys don't know yet, but they're going to have to face. Neither one of them's getting that shot. Neither one of them's next fight is going to be Conor McGregor. They're going to end up fighting one another to kick the can down the road because they've got a time issue here. Conor's going to take his oars out of the water for a while. He's got the kid coming up. He's going to do everything he can for the Mayweather fight, whether that comes to fruition. But the bottom line is neither one of those guys can go top of the bill right now with Conor. And they're not going to be given that opportunity. Those guys are going to be forced to face one another. And then the question is, will the winner get a fight Conor? I think we can all agree Conor's not going back to 45. That belt's going to go away. Not to say he won't go up to 7. You know, he's angling for a Nate Diaz rubber match. Nate's been on.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things you can do with Conor. And then to your point, possibly a Tyron Woodley. I don't know that I buy that one, but sure. That's more likely than Ferg or Khabib stepping in there with him right now. Sadly, but that is the reality.
Hein? Devagar. Acabou. Pode tirar? Olha, tem mais um pouquinho, né? Pronto. Não dá vida.
Go ahead. Ask me.
How the fuck did you win this shit?
That might be the best question I get today.